A tornado and serious flash flooding last night with more severe weather on the way tonight. And breaking news as 3 men from Georgia face hate crime charges. Plus, the end is near for the mask mandate in Oklahoma City. Find out when. This is OU Nightly. Hello, thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Grace Whitten.
And I'm Will Blessing. We begin with chances for more severe weather tonight.
Jack Maney joins us. Jack, what does the weather look like for tonight?
That's right, Will and Grace. We've got a line of showers and thunderstorms starting to develop west of the Oklahoma City metro. There is a stationary boundary kind of draped west of Oklahoma City, and that's going to serve as the focus for shower and thunderstorm development as we go forward into the evening hours. We're going to continue to see waves of rain move through. Multiple waves of rain are possible through the overnight and evening hours tonight, and we could see some pretty serious flash flooding threats with those. And also, down here in northwestern Texas, those are supercells associated with a higher tornado threat that could start to push towards southern Oklahoma by this evening. There is a slight risk in effect with an enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5, just south of the border down there in Texas. We're under a level 2 out of 5 here. We could see golf ball size hail, some damaging winds, and possibly a couple of tornadoes before it's all said and done tonight. We're going to have those severe storms tonight, a big flooding threat coming in with those storms, but then things start to turn a corner as we go forward towards next weekend. We're going to have details of what you could see this weekend, how nice it's going to be. It's looking pretty good. We'll have all that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jack. Now it is night 2 of severe weather for central Oklahoma. Late last night, a tornado touched down in Pauls Valley about 30 minutes south of Norman. OU Nightly's Kemper was in Pauls Valley today to look at the damage.
Thanks, guys. I'm here in Pauls Valley where a tornado touched down just a little after midnight, doing some pretty serious damage to the areas near it. You'll see a lot of tree branches and fallen limbs in this area behind me, but the worst of the damage came to this barn to my right, which has debris scattered throughout the area for about a half mile. Now, there's about a 2.5 mile radius of this area where there's debris on the ground, but the entire city is being affected by some pretty serious flooding on the roads. That's definitely something you want to be aware of if you're planning on driving through Pauls Valley today. The silver lining is that the Pauls Valley Fire Department has confirmed no fatalities, and with the exception of one unlucky horse, no injuries. Reporting from Pauls Valley, Kemper Ball.
The National Weather Service surveyed the damage today and reported the tornado as an EF1.
Several areas across central Oklahoma are also dealing with flash flooding from the storms. And these photos from the Elmore City Fire Department, you can see how quickly the water can rise and sweep vehicles off the roadway. The driver of this car did not realize the road she was on had partially washed out. She was rescued by a rural electric cooperative lineman. She had some minor injuries and was shaken up, but is otherwise okay.
A North Carolina judge on Wednesday denies, for now, the media's request to publicly release the video from 4 body cameras in the fatal shooting of Andrew Brown. However, the judge is allowing Brown's family and their legal representatives to view the recording. Sheriff's deputies fatally shot Brown last week while trying to execute a warrant. The sheriff has said he wants body camera footage to be released and expresses disappointment that the video will not be made public.
We're going to continue to do everything we can do to be transparent to this community. I have to respect the DA and the judge's wishes, so we're going to do that and follow North Carolina law.
Attorneys for Brown's family were also vocal about their disappointment with the decision. North Carolina state law dictates that no one, including police, can order the release of body camera footage without a court order.
And some breaking news right now. The Justice Department has filed federal hate crime charges against 3 men in Georgia. Katie Arata has details on that and other national headlines. Katie?
The 3 men connected to the death of Ahmaud Arbery. He is the Georgia man who was killed while out for a run last year. Will all face hate crime charges. Travis McMichael and his father Gregory and the 3rd man William Roddy Bryan are all charged with 1 count of interference with civil rights and attempted kidnapping. And in other news, President Joe Biden will address a joint session of Congress tonight, unveiling his Americans Family Plan. He says it will help low and middle income families pay for health care for young children. It would also make 2 years of community college free, provide 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave for workers. In the family of a California man who died in police custody last week are calling his death a murder after seeing video of what happened. He can be seen losing consciousness as police attempted to place his hands behind his back, but they say they did not use excessive force. Family members believe it was the weight on Mario's back and head that killed him. Alameda County Sheriff's and District Attorney's Office, along with the city's police department, have all opened investigations and are awaiting toxicology and autopsy results. Today, federal agents executed search warrants at the New York apartment and office of Rudy Giuliani, a close ally of former President Trump. An attorney for Giuliani says the warrant described the investigation into a possible violation of foreign lobbying laws. The attorney also said the warrant sought communications between Giuliani and others, including columnist Fox News contributor John Solomon. The New York Times reports that investigators seized Giuliani's electronic devices. The search advanced the ongoing criminal investigation into Giuliani. And in other news today, Apollo 11 Command Module pilot Michael Collins has died at the age of 90 after battling cancer. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. Oklahoma City's mask mandate is set to expire Friday night at midnight. An extension of the ordinance was not on the City Council's agenda yesterday, but officials say they are still regulations. Businesses can legally require masks if they wish, similar to the no shoes, no shirt, no service policy. People can be cited for trespassing if they refuse to wear a mask. Some city council members are hesitant about the mandate ending, while others feel the city is ready for a sense of normalcy.
Easily the majority of the people in Oklahoma City are looking forward to the mask mandate expiring, mainly because it's an indication that I don't want to say we've overcame this problem, but we've certainly made great strides.
Half of all adults in Oklahoma have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
The Oklahoma State Department of Health reports more than 200 new cases of COVID-19 as the spread increases slightly across the state. This brings the active case total to just over 10,000, and more than 8,000 people in Oklahoma have died from the virus. Vaccination efforts have increased substantially, with nearly 3 million total doses administered.
And Pfizer is working on an experimental oral drug that could treat COVID-19 at the first sign of illness. The drug works by inhibiting an enzyme that the virus needs to replicate in human cells. The drug is currently in clinical trials, and if the trials go well and the FDA approves it, the drug could be available at the end of this year.
Coming up, with the university going fully in person, some students will experience in-person classes for the first time. Find out students' reactions to this when we return.
Plus, Atlanta Girl Scouts are struggling this year with cookie sales. Find out why they're seeking help from the community next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. With OU releasing a statement saying the classes will be in person at full capacity, the class of 2024 can finally receive a somewhat normal college experience. And while many students are excited, some had mixed emotions when they first heard the news.
Nervous because I haven't gotten to experience college. So having to go to classes and take tests in class and something I have not done yet. So I was a little nervous, but also excited.
President Harris announced that more details of OU's summer and fall plans will be shared in the coming weeks.
People who enjoy listening to podcasts might have to start paying more money to listen to their favorites. Zaria Oates has this story and more in today's Money Matters.
Podcasting is sneaking into a highly competitive market as Spotify launches its paid subscription plan for podcasts. Content creators now mark episodes as subscriber-only material, requiring users to pay a monthly fee to listen to the episode. Spotify says creators will receive 100% of the revenue from these episodes for the 2 years coming, but not forever. In 2023, they plan to introduce a 5% fee. Currently, a creator can only charge its users $3, $5, or $8 a month for a subscription. Need a car? Uber's got your back. Today, Uber launched Uber Rent, which will allow users to rent a car from their phone and receive a contactless vehicle delivery. Customers can book a car in the Uber app from places like Avis and Hertz car rental companies. Uber will initially offer a 10% rebate on any booking done with Uber Cash, and that money can be used within the Uber app for other purchases. The company plans to launch Uber Valet next month, but that'll be limited to Washington, D.C. users. While Girl Scout cookies are typically all the rave in Atlanta, Georgia, the pandemic has caused the sales to do a complete 180. Before COVID, local Atlanta troops would sell approximately 4 million boxes, but this year they've only sold about half of that, even with the extended deadline. The Atlanta troop alone has more than 720,000 unsold boxes of cookies and is seeking help from the community. The expiration date is September, but word on the street is they'll last much longer if you freeze them. So, Grace, Will, you can order your Thin Mints online until April 30th at showmethecookies.com. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Zaria. I have not had my Girl Scout cookies this year, so I'll have to look at taking some off their hands.
I'll have to look at that too. But next on OU Nightly, a healthy experiment in space. Find out what one astronaut is growing and how.
And Jack Maney joins us with a look at the thunderstorms.
That's right, guys. You can see these dramatic skies over Oklahoma City. There are thunderstorms on the way, and we will tell you exactly when they're going to be and how strong they'll be coming up next. And welcome back to OU Nightly. Take a look at those clouds over Oklahoma City. We've actually had the tops of these buildings going in and out of the cloud deck. They're just hanging out that low to the ground. That's in association with thunderstorms that are starting to develop across the West Metro, and we're going to see those thunderstorms move in over the next few hours, and we are going to keep our rain chances high for the rest of the evening. We're sitting at 69 degrees in Oklahoma City. Showers and thunderstorms off and on, going on with winds out of the west-southwest at 8 miles per hour. We're just about saturated with dew points at 68. 69 for the temperature. We're almost at 100% relative humidity across the area. You can see the stationary boundary draped across the state from northeast to southwest, and that is going to be our focus for our showers and thunderstorm activity. You can see them starting to blossom there across north of Lawton towards Chickasha and Anadarko up towards Oklahoma City. Those are going to increase in coverage over the next few hours and continue. You can see we've had showers and thunderstorms off and on to the north of Norman for the last few hours. Those are starting to push away, but this next round is starting to build out there in Canadian County and northern Grady County. Looking out at the rest of our rainfall, though, we've had a major rain event across, especially south and eastern Oklahoma. Down in Pauls Valley, where they had that tornado also last night, they've also seen almost 6 inches of rain there. And they're just that band from about Ardmore all the way up towards Muskogee. You've seen anywhere from about 2 inches all the way up to pockets of isolated 4, 5, and 6 inch rainfall totals across that area, and we're going to continue to see more rainfall over that area over the rest of the night, and we're going to keep that going because all of this low pressure out here towards the west, that's the driver of all of this wet weather that we've been seeing, all of this unsettled weather. You can see the jet stream coming around the side of this thing. And that is what is giving us all of the shear needed for severe thunderstorms that we're especially seeing across down in Texas. That low pressure center is going to kind of break off from the main jet stream, separate itself, become cut off, and weaken over northern Mexico, and it's going to stay that way for a little while. We're going to have high pressure and control for a couple of days before it starts to swing north and rejoin the jet stream. We could see some rain chances from that coming up towards the early part of next week. And you can see coming into our future radar, we're taking it right back to right about now. We're seeing these showers and thunderstorms building in. Powerful supercells down there around the Red River Valley. There is a pretty substantial threat of severe weather with those. Those are going to continue across into eastern Oklahoma and grow into a big old squall line. That's going to be one heck of a gully washer out there across the eastern portions of the state. We could be seeing major rainfall totals and some damaging winds from that, but the tornado threat is going to be a little bit more contained with that threat. We're going to see a pretty significant wave of rain across here. We're going to see anywhere from about 1/10 to 1/4, maybe a 1/2 inch here in Oklahoma City, but we could be seeing totals around 3 inches by the time it's all said and done down in southeastern Oklahoma. We're going to dry out for tomorrow and into Friday, and we'll be looking at beautiful, beautiful weather by Friday, and then the rest of the week looks pretty good before our rain chances start to go up. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jack. Now, it's not just Oklahomans dealing with the weather. The astronauts of SpaceX's first operational astronaut mission for NASA have to wait a few more days to return home from the International Space Station due to bad weather at their splashdown site. On this mission, astronaut Michael Hopkins started growing fresh vegetables in space. Radishes are one of the several options being researched as potential food for long-duration missions. With no bees or birds to pollinate the flowers, Hopkins did it himself with a paintbrush. The crops grew for 64 days, which is the longest greens have grown on station.
And Sooner Sports are dominating as always, and this time it's golf's turn to show out.
Carly Murray joins us. Carly, how did they look on the greens today?
The men's golf team hung around the top of the leaderboard all day long. But did they bring home the hardware? I'll tell you after the break. Sports is next. Thanks for sticking with us. The OU softball team doubleheader last night. Baylor got on board first, but it was no problem for Nicole Mendez, who hit a grand slam in the fourth, putting OU in the lead. The Sooners didn't look back from there when Jocelyn Allo slugged her nation-leading 25th home run, adding to that 7-1 win. Not long after Game 1, Game 2 ended in a shutout rule victory for the Sooners in 6 innings. This was Oklahoma's 4th shutout in its last 5 games. Oklahoma will face Wichita State at 6 p.m. on May 4th. Yesterday, men's golf came back from 4 shots down on the back 9 to tie with Texas and Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship. But today, Little Brother won the title of Big 12 champion. In individual scores, Quade Cummins finished second to UT's Cole Hammer. Next stop for OU golf, the NCAAs. Switching courses, women's golf secured a spot in the NCAA Columbus Regional May 10th through the 12th. Currently at the 9th seed, the Sooners will make their 4th consecutive regionals appearance, 9th postseason appearance under head coach Luttrell. The regional tournament awards the top 6 teams a spot in the NCAA championship. The NFL draft is just 24 hours away. The latest buzz circles the Panthers, who sent quarterback Teddy Bridgewater out of Carolina and over to Denver for a 6th-round pick. But let's take a look at which Sooners are headed over to Cleveland. Since the birth of the draft, OU has produced top-tier talent for the pros. If you don't believe it, get this. Oklahoma is the only program that has produced at least 4 draft picks in each of the last 13 seasons. So don't be surprised if you see those Sooners get scooped up quick. The Thunder roared last night, and not just in the sky. The OKC Thunder finally broke their snapping streak of 14 games. Lou Dort put up 24 points, and Darius Beasley notched a double-double with 21 points and 10 rebounds. Let's hear what Coach had to say about this crunch time win over the Celtics.
We had a couple plays we can learn from, but I thought our guys kept their poise and, more importantly, kept their competitiveness. Great loose ball by Isaiah, great rebound by Isaiah. Bays, those guys are really good down the stretch.
If the Thunder lost, a 15th consecutive loss would have been a franchise record for OKC. The Olympic organizers announced new guidelines for those taking part in the Summer Games. The athletes will be tested daily, visitors will be asked to not use public transit, and news media will be urged to eat takeout meals alone. The Olympics will begin on July 23rd. Fenway Park isn't just for baseball nowadays. The ballpark will host graduation ceremonies for at least 16 public schools in Boston. This comes after Boston Governor Charlie Baker said they'd increase stadium capacity from 12 to 25% May 10th. Up to 4 different graduation ceremonies will take place June 7th through the 21st. Wouldn't you have loved to have your high school graduation at the legendary Fenway Park?
Thanks, Carly. I definitely would have. That park is legendary.
That would have been really special to be a high schooler and get a graduation at Fenway Park.
Oh, definitely. Now, typically at the airport, you'd find people with suitcases and clothes. But
one passenger tried to get through with some unusual luggage. Find out what when OU Nightly returns.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Romelo Woodfork at the OU Nightly Update Desk. According to the White House, President Joe Biden's speech today to Congress will call on lawmakers to lower the cost of prescription drugs. President Biden plans to empower Medicare to negotiate directly with pharmaceutical companies. Currently, Medicare insurers are barred by law from negotiating with them. Will and Grace, back to you.
Thanks, Romelo. A unique smuggling attempt was stopped today at a New York airport.
A man was caught with 35 live finches in his clothing. The finches were stuffed inside hair rollers and sealed with netting. The man said he had been paid to smuggle the birds into the U.S.
He has been charged with unlawfully importing the finches, but it's not immediately clear if anyone else has been linked to this bird-brain scheme.
And Jack is back with one last look at the forecast. Jack.
That's right, Will and Grace. I'm just Jack over here on the weather wall. We've got a pretty big threat of flooding coming in this afternoon and evening. We're expecting probably a quarter to a half inch of rain here in central Oklahoma, but across southeastern Oklahoma, where they've already had a ton more rain than we have here, they're expecting another inch to 2 inches, possibly even 3 in a few spots. There's a big flooding threat from that, and we're going to have to keep an eye on that very closely through the evening. Make sure you stay safe. Don't drive into any flooded roadways if you're out and about. But of course, we're doing a lot better going forward. Tomorrow we clear out some rain, maybe a few showers and thunderstorms around in the morning before it all clears out. Could see some sunshine late in the day, and then Friday, it's beautiful. You want to get outside as much as you possibly can Friday, and then the rest of the weekend looks great, warming up, and then our next storm chance starts to come in here on Tuesday and into Wednesday of next week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jack, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. We're sending off seniors Jack Maney and my co-anchor today, Grace Whitten, as this is their last newscast. Good luck, guys.
And OU Nightly will be back in the fall to keep bringing you news, sports, and weather. Have a great night.